What's up, everybody? It's Markia, aka the Money Plug, aka your credit specialist, favorite credit specialist, and welcome to our weekly check-in. Now, Instagram, I got a bone to pick with Instagram today, because I did the Service Member Civil Relief Act presentation for you guys last week, and it did not allow me to post it. I'm not sure if it was just way too long or what. So if you guys are watching me on Instagram and you missed the Service Member Civil Relief Act presentation, you can actually find it on my YouTube channel, which is WWTMPD. What would the Money Plug do? And for everybody else, welcome back. I know I was live earlier on TikTok, but I wasn't live on everything else. And you know what? I'm not even live on TikTok right now. So let me set that up too while I'm waiting for everybody to come in. I'm buying a house in the most brutal market ever. Excuse my language. Oh, you didn't cuss, girl? Listen, so what questions you got for me? That's what Fridays are for. Fridays is when you guys ask me all the questions you want to ask me, all the stuff you've been thinking about all week, all the stuff that you were like, damn, I wonder what, right? So talk to me while I get TikTok queued up. This middle score is bullshit. Experian and Equifax is over 680, but TransUnion is 607. I'm hella pissed. Okay. So one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't pay attention to is the fact that your mortgage scores is different than your regular scores, right? And the reason it's not that a lot of people don't pay attention to it. A lot of people don't know that. And so in saying that, you want to make sure that you yourself are pulling your mortgage scores. Don't just, yeah, obviously they know what they're talking about because they're the mortgage loan officer and everything. But you also want to make sure that you're tracking it just for your records. And then also, if you have credit monitoring on your mortgage scores, usually they tell you exactly what's wrong with your score. Oops, I forgot to turn my volume down on my computer. Hold on. They'll usually tell you exactly what's wrong for you with your score, so that you can kind of hyper focus on that and bump your score up a little bit. I personally prefer my FICO when tracking your mortgage scores specifically, simply because they tell me exactly what's wrong with it. How should I handle a bill that has gone to collections and they are offering a settlement to pay? So whenever you get a settlement offer, that's always a good thing, right? Because hold on, I'm trying to answer messages. That's always a good thing simply because that means they're willing to work with you, right? So if this is a debt collection company that's reaching out to you and you're willing to pay, then what I would try to do is negotiate something known as a pay to delete. Don't call them and say, can I get a pay to delete? Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you no. But what you want to do is you want to reach out to them and say, listen, you're saying that I owe you this money. And I'm not saying that it's true, but what I am saying is I want to get this handled as soon as possible. So in exchange for some or all of the money that you're saying that I owe you, can you stop reporting to the credit bureaus? When it comes to collections specifically, so only applies to collections, you lose points for having the collection, period. It doesn't matter how much you owe. You didn't lose points for the amount that you owe. You lost points for the fact that you have a collection. So flat out paying it or flat out settling it is never the best answer because you're still going to have those points lost. You're not going to get anything back when you do that. You always want to start with negotiating with a pay to delete. Now, if they refuse your offers, you guys just cannot negotiate or come to terms or come to an agreement or whatever you want to call it, then your next option is going to be force them to validate that debt. And a lot of times they aren't able to. When it comes to disputing, and I really want to break this down because I got a comment earlier on a video that really bothered me. I ended up blocking the person, but when it comes to disputing, you are not disputing whether or not you owe that debt, right? When it comes to when you're disputing the validity of a debt, you're disputing the fact that do you have the proper paperwork that is required in order for you to report on and attempt to collect on this debt. So it's not that you're trying to get out of it by saying it's not yours. And for those of you who are doing that, I highly advise you to stop because committing fraud while repairing your credit is illegal, right? Because it's still fraud. But instead of lying, what you can do is manipulate them into forcing the removal using the consumer protection laws. So forcing them to prove your live stopped. Why'd your live stop? Oh no, it don't say nothing's wrong with mine. I don't know why it stopped. You want to force them to acknowledge the fact that they do not have the proper paperwork to collect or report on your debt. I have a repossession that's still on my credit and it's now past the 7 years. What should I do about that? So first of all, you want to make sure that it is actually past the 7 years. So when it comes to repossessions specifically, okay, Christina, thank you. When it comes to repossessions specifically, this is the most sued debt. So honestly, when I have clients with repossessions, if they're not willing to pay it, if it go bad, then I usually don't touch it, right? Because if you don't bother it, it should fall off. Now, you want to make sure you're calculating the dates properly. The 7 years doesn't start from when you open the account. It's 7 years from the first missed payment that led to the account being charged off or repossessed. So you want to make sure that you're pulling the reports and you're getting the proper information to know that this account is supposed to fall off. You also have to give it time. If it's scheduled to fall off this month, give it 30 to 45 business days to see if that change is made. Now, if the dates are correct and it still doesn't fall off at the required time, then what you can do is print out a copy of your credit report highlighting the date that confirms when it was supposed to fall off, and then send that. And you can even print out a copy of the law that says it only reports for 7 years, and then go ahead and send that to the credit bureaus like, hey, and request a deletion like, hey, the reporting time for this debt has expired and the debt is still reporting on my credit. Please remove this account as it is past the reporting time and it is now in violation of the rights given to me under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Christina, I don't know why. Oh, you. Hold on. That's not even the person I thought it was. So what exactly is, so whenever somebody's coming to me, I'll tell Capital One where to find the car. So somebody said, wait, can we get back to me? LOL. I'm legit about to drive my car through TransUnion's windows. So Christina, when it comes to you and like the home buying process, right? When you pull your mortgage scores, you want to look, so the same categories are used to calculate your mortgage scores. It's just that they're weighted differently. Sugar-coated factory. When you go through the bureaus, they still reach out to the company. When you go through the bureaus and request the removal due to the account being 7 years old, what they do is they force the creditors to investigate. It's like going and tell mom and dad digging in your older brother or older sister ass for putting their hands on you. So that's how it works. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to break down how your credit score, Christina. So for those of you who weren't on here, because I know I got on TikTok late, Christina's trying to buy a home and her middle score is just not where she wants it to be. So in order for her to be competitive enough to buy a home. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at how your credit score is calculated overall. So look at all the categories. Number one, payment history. Payment history for a base score, a FICO base score, is 35% of your score. So you're going to want to make sure that all of your accounts have 100% on-time payment history. The ones that do not have 100% on-time payment history, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try to rehab those accounts. Don't instantly jump to a removal when it comes to late payments. Try to rehab the accounts first, because a company is more likely to update an account than they are to remove the account. So what I mean by rehab is try to get the company to reverse the payment reporting. So try to get them to, if it's an open account, you can leverage the relationship you have with that lender and you can get them to update the account to pay it as agreed, just by asking them. Now, of course, they're not going to say yes out of the gate 1,000% of the time, right? A lot of times they'll actually probably tell you no. Capital One told me no 3 times before they went ahead and gave me mine. And this is also something that companies only do 1 time. So if you've had it done previously, they're not going to do it again. Once you rehab as many accounts as you can, then you should move on to credit card utilization. Out of all of your credit cards, if you add up all of the credit limits, not the balances, but the credit limits, right? What percentage of that amount are you actually using? You want your credit utilization to be reporting as low as possible without touching 0. 0 means you're not using the products and it would not be wise for them to invest in you, right? Because at the end of the day, these lenders are a business. They need to know that you're actually using their products because they get paid for all the purchases that you make. And so you want to make sure that your utilization is reporting as low as possible, right? Then after your credit utilization, you're going to want to look at length of account history. Length of account history means how long have you been building credit? How old is your oldest appointment? How old is your oldest account? How old is your youngest account? What's the average, right? So I don't have a sample letter. There's a couple variations of how you would do a rehab of your account. If it's an open account, you can use a Goodwill letter. That letter, for those of you on Instagram, the link in my bio takes you to like a quick links or a hot links page on my website. And there is a shop there. I do have a Goodwill letter available. I think it's like $5. for the letter. But the Google letter just says, hey, like I've been with this company for a while. We have a really good relationship. I would like to continue this really good relationship. It's just that XYZ is the reason why I missed these payments. And I just don't feel like it is indicative of who I am as a lender. And I don't think that this represents me well. Could you perhaps forgive me for these late payments? That's what a goodwill letter is. Now, if it's a closed account, all you can do is ask. And if that don't work, you can try to dispute, but that might not always work. When it comes to length of account history, how long you've had these accounts matter. Then there's mix of accounts. Do you have a good mix of credit cards and loans? And then inquiries. When it comes to inquiries, they want you to know that it's okay to open new accounts. They want you to open up new accounts, but you shouldn't be opening up more than 5 in a 12-month time period. I've disputed it in writing multiple times. My DTI is 40%. So you're definitely going to want to get your DTI lower. Usually when I'm working with people like who are budgeting, you're fine. When I'm working with people who are budgeting, I tell them 23%. And it's a really weird story why I have 23, but 23% for your debt to income ratio is ideal. You want to get your DTI as low as possible. That'll also help you with your credit worthiness as far as your mortgage, like getting a mortgage, like how much you qualify for and things like that. But if you break down each section or each category that is used to calculate your credit score, you'll be able to see what is costing me the most points. What section am I not maximizing the points in? How do you suggest we deal with LCI? I just don't understand them. So here's the thing about LCI right now. And I have not got, knock on wood, right? I have not had a run-in with them yet. But what I will say is this. The reason LCI is allowed to do what they do is because they keep telling everybody that they are not considered a credit reporting agency. And because they are not considered a credit reporting agency, they are not bound by the FCRA. What I will say is that if LCI is indeed not a credit reporting agency, then that is true. They are not bound by the FCRA and they can continue to report your bankruptcy, which is what I'm assuming you're trying to dispute them with. However, there's a lot of lawsuits and stuff against LCI for the CFPB and the FTC to kind of force them to have a label, some sort of label, because they are providing very specific information to the bureaus, but they're using a loophole in the fact that the information that they're reporting is public information. Anybody could look it up and find it. Anybody can literally look it up and find your bankruptcy for free at that. And so they're just saying that they're a data aggregator. They just get the information and then give it to whoever needs it. They're saying that they don't house the information or anything like that. And that's how they're allowed to get away with it. There has been no solid plan to attack LCI just yet that I have personally seen. And I have not gotten, knock on wood, I have not gotten mixed up in them. So I haven't had to deal with them. Settle for less than balance. Is this bad? Not necessarily. You could still owe. So, I mean, you got to look at, everybody looks at it like as if something does not come off or if I don't pay 100%, it's terrible. You got to look at where you are and where you started. If you owe these people $6,000 and you manage to get off by paying them $200, girl, count your blessings, right? Like, you know, that's not a big deal. Now, what I will say is, when you pay these accounts that have been sitting for a while, charge-offs, collections, and things like that, that won't necessarily increase your score because you already lost the points for having the account derogatory in the first place. But it will improve your credit worthiness because of your profile health. Your credit score, your credit report are two separate entities. They're related, right? Things you add to your credit report can boost your credit score. But there are also things that you can do for your credit profile that won't do anything for your score, but it can improve your chances of getting things. That's just like the same thing for denials. You can have an 800 credit score, but if you have too many inquiries on your credit report, you can still be denied whatever it is you're applying for because you have too many inquiries on your credit report. So I personally feel like, I personally feel that there's nothing wrong with settling for less than the balance, because if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. However, what I will say is that when it's a collection, you always want to try to negotiate a pay to delete. That only works with collections. It do not work with accounts that are still with the original creditors. And it's also at the discretion of the collection company. Some companies just flat out won't do it, and that's fine too. I just started repairing my credit today and I'm excited. So I sent dispute letters for my personal information. That is always the first step. Always try to clean that up as much as possible. It helps with when you start disputing the actual accounts. What other questions you guys got for me? So the reason why I'm late, right, and I'm not actually going to be able to stay on long, I have to get off at 8, is because tonight is the second class in my summer credit literacy webinar. I'm so excited for tonight's class because And somebody, shout out to TikTok, because somebody on TikTok gave me this idea earlier. I am going to be selling the replay for those of you who just cannot make it tonight. But tonight's class is called Congratulations, Now What? And it's a college graduate / high school graduate credit building course. Well, not course, sorry, webinar. So pretty much I'm going to be going over everything you possibly need to know about credit. And I'm talking about from the basement to the roof. Like, we're going over what is credit, how to read a credit report, how to calculate your credit score, how many points are available in each section approximately. Why do we have so many credit scores? What are the many credit scores and where can I track them? We're going to talk about student loans and how they could affect your credit worthiness, the importance of making sure you keep your contact information up to date with all of your lenders and cleaning up your personal information over the years. For those of who are entering the military and things like that, we're going to briefly touch on the SCRA, because I did have somebody reach out to me who's coming to the class tonight, who is joining the military and would like to know more information about that particular benefit. The Service Member Civil Relief Act. What's up, Akari? The Service Member Civil Relief Act is a benefit that is afforded to active duty military personnel. And these laws are protections against certain actions, as well as things like an interest rate cap on any debt that you've kind of got before the military. And it's to ease the financial burden on you and your family during your service. The interest rate cap does things like lower your interest rate on your home, your car, your credit cards, things like that. So I'm really excited. We're going to kind of hit the hot spots on that one. And credit building is the most important part of the course. Well, the webinar. Why do I keep calling it a course? The webinar. It's the most important part, because this is like, now that you guys are entering the world of work, right now, you are financially responsible for the items that you signing up for the accounts that you're adding to your reports. It's not about mom and dad anymore. And so now I want you to go out into the world with the right tools so that you don't need someone like me years down the line. What are your thoughts on satisfactory and accordance agreements? I'm always iffy on those and hardly ever hear anyone talk about those. Are they a real thing? Don't drive your car through TransUnion. You know what's so crazy? I want to say like last September, I went viral on Facebook and Instagram, because when I went to Made in America, which is it was a festival up in Philly. When I went to Made in America, I walked past Santander and I gave them the middle finger and took a picture. I fucking hate Santander. I'm sorry if you guys, I didn't see that question. If you guys are interested in the webinar tonight, the link is in my bio. All you got to do is click the link in my bio on Instagram and go to events. You'll see it. It's the first webinar that pops up. For everybody else, you should see it at the bottom of your screen. It'll tell you the website that you need to go to register for tonight's class. It's at 8 p.m. and you have to register before you get the link for the class. So make sure you register. It's $20 for the webinar. All of the proceeds are being donated to the 22 a Day Foundation to support veteran and service member mental health and suicide prevention. So I'm super excited. Y'all know I'm always doing something to donate to them, to save people from going through what I went through. And I'm just super excited about the course tonight. I hate Made in America, clogs the streets. I ain't gonna lie, I have fun, especially because I didn't drive. I did not drive. Now, Raquel, so satisfactory and accordance agreements, I have not had any experience with them. Like, I've literally never, like, it's so funny that you said that, because I literally heard those particular words for the first time yesterday. So I don't have any information on them for you. For me to be honest, I'm not somebody who's gonna lie to you. I have never dealt with them, don't know anything about them. So I can do some more research, and then when I go live on Monday, I can talk about it again, or I'll post a TikTok or something for you to kind of take a look at. But I've never had to deal with them. And honestly, my whole thing is experience is the best teacher. So I can tell you all day what I read online, or I could experience myself and then be able to talk to you guys, not from a position of like authority, right? Like just somebody who read a book and can tell you about it. I've actually kind of went through it or know what I'm talking about. So give me till Monday. Let me write it down. Where's my notepad? Give me till Monday. I'll have an answer for you regarding that. Got my trusty notepad. Y'all know how I do, because I forget my name. Alexa, make an announcement. Deuce, if you don't stop playing with me and stop that screaming, not Jim, maybe he'll co-sign for me. I am dead. Okay. Hey girl, hey. Oh, why don't I get the notifications when you go live? Okay, I need to see what I gotta do. I don't get no notifications at all for TikTok, if you want me to be honest. So I gotta figure that out. I don't even know why. Yes, thank you, because I'm so confused about that, but I trust what you say. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. I'll definitely do some research and see what other information I can get for you. What other questions y'all got for me tonight? I'm super excited for tonight's webinar, even though I low-key been talking all day. You got your notifications turned. So I had them turned off because I was just getting so many. And then when I turned them back on, they're still not working how they're supposed to. Like sometimes I'll just unlock my phone and I'll see like the number next to the TikTok thing saying how many notifications I got, but I never got like the actual banner. Or like I'll get a banner telling me somebody's live, but when I go to my TikTok settings, that notification part isn't even turned on. The information for the webinar is at the bottom of your screen tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a credit building it's called Congratulations. Now what? But anybody can register for the webinar. It's themoneyplug.co/events, and you can look at the other webinars we have scheduled. The one I did yesterday it's called Snitches Get Stitches, and we talked about the third-party reporting agencies and how that works with your credit as far as like removing evictions, removing bankruptcies, lowering your car insurance, and things like that. Earlier, when I was live on TikTok, they convinced me to reschedule. Like they were like, "Oh, we missed it. Can you do it again?" So I'm going to be doing that one again on June 9th. So you should also see that on the website. The credit. Hey, girl. Happy belated birthday. That's fine because, okay, so let me tell y'all what I just found out this week. So y'all know every week I take a day off and I do like professional development. I do research. I'm like literally researching cases. I'm like looking up all this stuff. So this week there's a guy, shout out to Dustin Ball, I think his name is, and he came out with something that credit repair organizations can add to their letters, because what he is saying is that the reason why a lot of people aren't getting responses or aren't getting the responses they need to be getting, like they're probably getting like those stall letters that TransUnion was sending out, is because what's going on is they're backlogged, right? And so they see everybody sending these templates and they're going to say, you know what? We're going to send this letter out. And the letter or they're not going to respond because the letter usually says like, oh, you're using a third-party agency. And of course I remember, girl. They were like, oh, you're using a third-party agency and, you know, it's nothing wrong with that, but we need certain permissions in order to speak to them and things like that. Like, it was really weird. I mean, it's honestly just them trying to buy more time. And so shout out to Dustin. Like I said, he came out with like a little blurb you can add into the letters to let them know, like, even if I am using a third-party agency, it does not matter because I'm not violating any law and there's no reason for you to stall the investigation in order to give yourself more time. Like, I give them permission. Like, it's not illegal for me to purchase templates. It's not illegal for me to hire somebody, blah, 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 blah. So what I did was I added those to your letters and I sent them out. Well, they went out today. So yeah, that's what I did today. That's what I did this week. Literally, I went through my entire client list. I'm probably like halfway through, I want to say. Whew, so I got a long weekend ahead of me and there's going to be multiple trips to the post office, but I'm redoing like y'all know the last week of every month I do Bombard Week. So I'm kind of like, instead of doing just Bombard Week, I'm adding this blurb into all the letters, reprinting them and then mailing them out. So that's exciting. That's what I've been working on this week on top of like my presentations and stuff. Can I send dispute letters out for negative collection even if I did for the personal information? So yes, whenever you have negative accounts, derogatory accounts, you can dispute them. You can send letters off to dispute them. I suggest sending letters off to dispute them. I'm very anti-online disputing. I'm very anti-talking to people on the phone and things like that. I'm 1,000% you need to be sending letters. Sounds like my house. No, for real. And it's so funny because my son always waits till I come in here to do that. Like, he know I only close my door when I'm live or when I have a client. And so he will literally stick his face under my door and make noise because he know that means I'm going to open my door and come get him. Shout out to my husband because my husband home today. So my husband got him. Oh, look, y'all, my nails are naked. What color should I get next since y'all couldn't agree on the ones I posted on my damn story? I do need to shout out to Serena because, girl, you're going to be seeing me soon. What are some things to work on in order to purchase a house in the next year or so? That's a really good question. So typically, the rule of thumb that I tell people is that if you like, you know what, I want to buy a house, you want to give yourself at least 12 months from the day you make that decision. And the reason why I say 12 months is because within 6 months of you going to go sit down with a mortgage lender, right, you should not be adding anything to your credit profile, taking anything off, paying anything off, etc. Now, obviously, sometimes life happens or like the life of your loan will expire in that 6 month time period, right? And that's fine. but like you shouldn't be paying things off early. Ooh, lime. I did that for my birthday and it was so cute. You know what? I am gonna bring it back. Look, let me. I love you. I swear. I'm definitely gonna do lime green again. Ooh, what if I do lime green? And I'm really into all the colors this spring. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do multiple colors. I've seen a couple designs on Pinterest. But you want to make sure that you give yourself enough time. A lot of people be like, I want to buy a house and think they're literally about to go like the next month and they don't have the proper credit score for it. You really want to set attainable goals. So I always say, give yourself about 12 months from the day you like, you know what, I think I want to buy a house. Now, when it comes to how your credit scores are, a lot of people will pull up their Credit Karma or and be like, this is my score, can I buy a house? That's not the score that your lenders see. There are multiple credit scores, and I cannot wait to get into this tonight. There are multiple credit scores. The credit scores that you're going to be looking for specifically for home buying is your FICO 2, your FICO 4, and your FICO 5. These are considered your FICO mortgage scores. These are the scores that lenders are looking at to determine your credit worthiness, whether or not they're going to give you a home, right? And so you want to make sure that those scores are competitive enough for your area. There's no minimum credit score when it comes to buying a home. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know that now. A lot of people ask me all the time, what's the minimum credit score to buy a house? There isn't one. Yes, I am accepting new clients. So the FCRA books and educational packs are going out in the order that I received emails. So, I mean, if you haven't received one yet, that's either I haven't gotten to your email or I'm waiting for some more to come in. Why is Instagram giving me a hard time? There we go. Oh, I remember you. Oh my God, I remember you. So yeah. So you want to start there. The first step if you're looking to buy a home is to pull your mortgage scores. You want to see exactly where you are currently. When you pull your mortgage scores, and I personally recommend my FICO, they tell you exactly what's wrong with your score. And what you need to work on in order to improve your score. So you also, oh, thank you for the rose. You want to break down, okay, well, how is my credit score calculated? Where do they get these numbers from? Like, what's going on? If you break down the different categories, payment history, credit utilization, length of account history, mix of accounts, inquiries or new accounts, right? You want to break down each section one by one and go through your credit report. So when it comes to when it comes to payment history, go through all of your accounts, look and see all of the missed payments, try to rehab them. Remember, always try rehabbing first instead of removing, because a company is more likely to update an account than they are to removing the account. Where can we learn about the different credit laws and violations? So the webinars that I've been doing this summer, like yesterday when we talked about the third-party reporting agencies, we kind of got into the FCRA a little bit and how that applies. But if you want to do research on your own, ftc.gov or consumer.gov are, they're the same website essentially, but they provide all of the information for free as well. They are like right now, I heard they're not accepting orders right now, but if you keep an eye on them, you can like order these books right here. This is what the person was talking about. I was mailing these out. You can order these books right here. They also have one for the FDCPA, as well as, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I've been working in the background and I've been working on like an ebook that I can put together for you guys. So that's going to be coming hopefully later in the year. It's a couple different ebooks. So I'm kind of excited. Yes, we are my FICO members. Can you tell I'm bitter and angry? She said, give me FICO's address. That's where I'm driving the Jeep. I am hollering. Yeah, if your landlord doesn't give you 60 days notice, I've been paying $2,400 for 5 years, but can't get a mortgage approval for $1,900. That's so crazy to me too, because I was literally talking to my mom. My mom just is going through a similar process, and I was like, that's crazy that your rent is more than mortgage sometimes, and they'll let you go ahead and rent a house, but they won't give you a 15, 30-year mortgage. Like, I don't get it. What was that book? So this book right here is a hard copy of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is one of the main consumer protection laws that kind of govern how information reports to the credit bureaus and what your rights and responsibilities are as a consumer. Now, I do have the PDF version available. in my Facebook group for free. It's in the group files. I uploaded it like 2 weeks ago. So if you want the PDF copy, you can go ahead and get it from there. Kindle, also, if you are a Kindle Unlimited subscriber, you can get it for free on Kindle Unlimited. Just make sure it's the purple one. You can probably buy copies off of Amazon, maybe. But the FTC provides these for free on their website. You can actually order them in bulk. It's just that right now they're not accepting orders because they're kind of backlogged from COVID. I know you specialize in credit, but do you know how to go about selling your car to a dealership without doing a trade-in? We're wanting to downsize to one vehicle. So when I used to work at CarMax, and people used to do it all the time, shout out to CarMax in Ellicott City. But when I used to work at CarMax, it used to be like you would just bring your car in. They would give you they would go over your whole car, do like the inspection, give you an estimate on what they give you. And it's good usually for like 30 days. So you can shop around, see who else is willing to buy the vehicle, how much they're willing to buy the vehicle for. And if it's a car that you don't owe any money on, all of that money is simply profit. Now, if you have a loan on the car, a lot of times they're not going to give you what you still own the car, unless like you've taken extremely good care of the car, maybe done a little extra or something like that. But a lot of times you're not going to get what the car is worth. They'll give you up to a point. It is then your responsibility to come up with the rest of that money. And you have to have the rest of the money paid when you go to trade that car in, so that the amount they give you and the check they give you, that's going to pay the car off, because they need the title. And in order to get the title, you cannot have a lien on the car. So that's just something you got to think of. So look at your payoff. I always tell people, pull up your payoff amount, because the payoff amount is a little different than probably what you owe on a life of the loan. So look up your payoff amount. And then like start shopping around, let people inspecting the car and things like that, see what you can get, and then compare the two. How much do you still have to come up with to pay the car off completely, because they need the title for the vehicle. I can help with. So this isn't my first ebook. I've released a Kindle Vella, a Kindle ebook, as well as I have a monthly financial planner that I released on Amazon earlier this year. So I'm getting better, especially with KDP. Shout out to KDP. So I'm getting better. It's just that it's a lot of information when it comes to like just the FCRA and the FDCPA. I want to be as detailed as possible when I'm giving you guys this information, but I'm also wanting to make sure I'm staying as true to the law as possible, because I want to give you what it exactly says, and then I want to break it down in a way that's more digestible for you. Like a way for you to understand. I just pulled the purple book from the files in the Facebook group. Thank you. You are so welcome. Yeah, we're prepared to pay anything that's left over. Just makes traveling easier, especially because baby. Oh my goodness, congratulations, you having a baby. Who is Fair Isaac and where does he or she live? We need to have a chat. And these lenders, I'll be a mortgage loan officer and underwriter by next year. You know who you should reach out to, Christina. Her name is the.mortgage.mentor here on Instagram and TikTok. I love her, Rebecca Richardson. And I don't know if you're active on Facebook, but if you join the matter of fact, if you're on YouTube, even on YouTube, Rebecca Richardson and I have done lives previously. We've done 2, and I have one of the recordings on YouTube for you guys to watch. She is a mortgage loan officer. She's been doing it for like 20 years. And she's like across a couple states. So she's very, very, very knowledgeable. And she goes over the process like a G. And it's so, I think the YouTube video is about an hour long. And she drops a lot of really good information, as well as her contact information for you to get in contact with her. I send everybody to her because she can tell you exactly what you need to do. Like, all right, this is where you need to be right here if you are trying to buy your home in this time period. And then you let me know what you need and we'll rock it out. I send you, like, I'm telling you, my TikTok has over 200 videos, guys, that's strictly educational, not even including my little funny videos, but strictly educational for you guys to either repair your credit yourself, build your credit yourself, whatever it is that you need, as well as the Facebook group. You are always welcome to ask questions in the Facebook group. My favorite credit specialist. Hello. Oh, I got 15 more minutes. What other questions y'all got for me, y'all? Oh, thank you, T. An account that was paid in full a year ago is still reporting a balance on my Equifax, and when I disputed it, they came back with this factual. How can something be paid off and still have a balance? That means you know for a fact it's reporting inaccurately, and you gave them the opportunity to fix it, and they chose not to. So then what you should do a debt validation with the company directly, right? And what if they still say no, they're not changing it? Don't tell them what's wrong. If they're still saying no, they're not going to change it, this is technically willful noncompliance, which violates the Fair Credit Reporting Act, because they are knowingly reporting inaccurate information. They know damn well they got that money. Thank you for the rose. And so you can take all of your evidence You can file a complaint with, if this is the original creditor, you can file a complaint with the FTC, the state's attorney general's office, as well as the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau in order to get the account updated. Then what you like, if you're just worried about the update, you're not really worried about snitching on them because you don't got time. What you could do is print out a copy of your credit report, highlighting the inaccurate part, like the fact that it's not showing up, like it's still showing a balance, and then print out your proof that you actually paid it off. And then if you send it into the credit bureaus, you provided them the evidence to show that this is not reporting accurately. And then they'll force the company to do an investigation, right? Because you clearly have evidence showing that you paid it off. And then the company will either update or double down. And if they double down, you can definitely nail their ass to the cross. My score is at 790. Congratulations. Thank you. Just effing insanity. Oh, you're so welcome. I need to drink this first before I drink that. But I only have credit cards, no installment loans. Okay. What's the last? I hate that TikTok restricts how many characters. I just appreciate you so much, man. I'm always saying that, but for real, LOL. I'm a money plug. Oh, for real. Let me tell y'all. So listen, I need help. For those of you who've been following me for a while, I have been doing this for about 18 months now, and I never imagined this for myself, ever. And y'all know, y'all can't really see it, but y'all know I got the sign up there that say the money plug. I want a little name necklace, but everywhere I go online, you only can get 9 characters. If anybody knows where I can go to get a name necklace that says the money plug, because I'm obsessed, that will allow me to get the whole thing, can y'all send it to me on Instagram or email it to me or something, because I really want to find it and I can't find it anywhere. Y'all are free to expose where I left my Jeep in case it hits the news. Listen. Just share the location. Just share your location. Well, you know what? We'll put together a GoFundMe so we can bail you out. That's what we'll do. We'll put together a GoFundMe and bail you out. I'm having some trouble getting a personal loan. Can you tell me why? It's probably because you have an unbalanced credit profile, and it could be that the length of account history for your credit cards is just not there. When it comes to credit cards is not credit cards are not considered mature until they're around 4 or 5 years old. So if all your credit cards are not that old, technically you got young credit. Or if they are that old, that means that you don't have any recent credit. Like your report is really what's the word I'm looking for? Unbalanced. Whoa! You have 14 credit cards? Regardless, it means your account is unbalanced. So what I would suggest is, when it comes to loans, you're going to want to start with Self. Self is a credit builder loan that I recommend to everybody, because it doesn't matter what your 14 years. Okay. It doesn't matter what your credit score is, as long as you're not going through an active bankruptcy, right? They're approving you, right? So essentially, I would start with the Self credit builder loan, kind of use that, pay it all the way through, see it all the way through. That will improve your profile health, which will then make it easier for you to qualify for loans and things like that. But it's mainly because you don't have any loans. So you have an unbalanced credit report. You don't have a good mix of credit. And then you also, your cards are 14 years old, but you have any recent credit. So that's kind of a problem too. Make you one. I said that, but I haven't made anything in a while, actually. I know my Cricut machines are collecting dust. Accounts that are closed, but you have good history with, can you remove those? Does it do anything to your credit to have closed accounts on there? So here's the thing. When it comes to closed accounts, they're still providing a value to your credit profile because of the history that's associated with the accounts. So, you're going to want to keep those on there if they're positively reporting. Now, if they're derogatory, of course, remove them. But if they're positive, you're going to want to keep them, because removing them will damage your credit report and your credit score, not necessarily help you. Girl, and is, okay, my Cricut machine and my embroidery machine is collecting dust. If I wasn't back here shredding papers, I'll show y'all what the hell my embroidery machine is. And one of my Cricut machines, I think that's my maker, is up under my desk. But you know what? I got that itch today, T. I pulled my compressor. Y'all know I used to spray. For those of you who don't know, I used to spray paint shoes. She said, do me a favor, run your Jeep into FICO. Don't run your Jeep into FICO. Run it in the open sky. No, for real. I pulled out my compressor. And so that means that my airbrushes is going to be coming out soon. And then I'm going to end up pulling the paint out. So I think I'm about to get back into my crafty stage. What letter should I send after I already sent a debt validation letter? They only sent bills. There's a letter, if you have the credit repair kit, there's a letter in there that's called what is it? That's not what I asked for letter. Or if you're in the Facebook group, I think I do have that available in the Facebook group for free. But that's not what I asked for letter. Pretty much reiterate your request for a debt validation and thanks them for their response, but that's not what you asked for. So, hey, can you please send me this? Can bankruptcies be removed if it was completed in February? It is a possibility, yeah. You don't have to wait the 7 or 10 years, depending on what type of bankruptcy you file. You don't have to wait that long to have it. Now, here's the thing, though. It doesn't completely remove the history of the bankruptcy. It just makes it so that the credit bureaus cannot verify the bankruptcy. And so it'll stop reporting. So certain systems, like if you're buying a home, I still advise you to be as honest as possible with the mortgage company because they could probably still pull it up in Cavers. So that's that. But yeah, it doesn't matter what chapter you filed. It is possible to remove a bankruptcy earlier. Oof. Dog player, I get it. All right, I got 10 more minutes, y'all. That necklace would be so fly. I know. Okay, so no, I'm not going to announce that. But just know I'm doing something in September that is going to be so dope and so fun. So I've been looking for so many ways to you take my style with me, right? But branded. So I'm excited. I know you've explained before, but I truly forget the difference between debt validation and debt verification. Okay. So the difference between a debt validation and a debt verification is honestly, what is the difference between the credit bureaus and a creditor and their level of responsibility? The credit bureaus can only verify, meaning they can only say, when you reach out to the credit bureaus, they can only say, hey, did you mean to say this? And then the company is going to investigate, and then the company is going to come back and be like, yeah, I meant to say that. And then the credit bureau is going to turn around to you and be like, they meant to say that. A credit bureau has no authority. They do not validate a debt, which is prove that the debt is an actual debt that you owe. Now, when it comes to verification, all they're doing is just making sure that, are you sure you meant to report this way? When it comes to a debt validation, that's between you and the creditor that is reporting, or the debt furnisher, data furnisher, whoever is reporting this to the credit bureaus and saying that you owe. Now, with a validation, there's a certain level of information that must be provided. Number one, they have to demonstrate the relationship. So if it's in collections, right, they have to demonstrate the relationship between you and the original creditor, meaning they have to prove that you ever got into an agreement with them to pay money in the first place. That's usually in the form of a promissory note, a contract, an application, something like that. Then they also have to break down what the debt is for. So the amount that the debt is for. So that's usually when you'll see a breakdown of a bill or something like that. But that's truly the difference. A debt validation is proving the validity of a debt. So, the information that they are reporting, it's proven that one, you are the person responsible, and two, the amount is the correct amount that you owe. Whereas with a debt verification, they're just verifying that the information that they're reporting on the credit report is the information that the company meant to send them. Because, accidents happen. Thank you for sharing this good information. You're amazing. Oh, thank you. Dog player, I get it. I'm not even a Doja Cat fan, and I like the hook in that song. I think it's so cool. People keep sending me the instrumental on TikTok, so I think I'm gonna do it for. Oh shit, it's Freestyle Friday. Okay, maybe later. I think I'll post it later, so I'll do something later to that song because I love that song. Whew. What else y'all got for me today? I got 9 minutes before I have to log out and log into the webinar. When a debt is in collections, if you settle, I know you said it doesn't fall off until 7 years. If you settle, does that reset your statute of limitations then? You don't have to worry about the statute of limitations because you already paid it. When you settle, that means you're paying the debt off. So they can't sue you for a debt that you technically paid. It just resets the reporting time for that debt, meaning instead of falling off in 2 years, a year, 3 years, it's going to fall off 7 years from the date of last payment. Hey, check the link for the name necklace. I don't think it's going to allow you to post links here. Amara Rock, could you send it to me on Instagram? And then I'll just check my DMs and look at it. Yeah, I guess we're going to airbrush tea. I don't know. I'm just getting that crafty itch. So I'll probably order a couple t-shirts and kind of break everything back out. I don't think I've made anything since like last December, which granted is only like 7 months ago, but that feels like a lifetime when you're so used to crafting like every day. I gotta find some room in this damn office first. I've been rearranging. That's why, like, if you've noticed, like, on my lives and stuff lately, you'll notice my background is blurred. That's because I'm moving stuff around back there. Like right now, I'm shredding papers and stuff, so I got it blurred so you guys can't see anything back there. But I have 2 desks that wraps around the perimeter of my room right here, but it's blocking my closet. So I'm taking the second desk down and getting a shelf put up so that I can put like I have 2 printers, 2 scanners, the little mail machine that I have and all that stuff. I'm gonna put that on there, open up the closet, and get some more shelves in here to put shit, and maybe another desk. We'll see. But I need some more room in here. Dog player, I get it. That's my shit. All right, well, I mean, if you guys don't got no more questions, I'm gonna cut y'all loose a little bit early so I can at least go to the bathroom before this webinar starts. Thank you guys so much for all the support as usual. Oh, hold on. When doing pay to deletes with your clients, what's the common amount you've seen that a company will settle for? It really depends on who you're talking to. If they do have a threshold, these companies aren't going to disclose it. But I always start negotiations at 20%. I don't give a fuck how much it is. I'm starting at 20%. And then we can kind of go back and forth from there. But I'm going to cut y'all loose now so I can go to the bathroom for this webinar. For those of you who weren't in here earlier, tonight I'm going to be doing a webinar. It's called Congratulations, Now What? It's technically geared toward college and high school graduates entering the world of work. We're going to be talking about what credit is, how to calculate your credit score. We're going to be talking about how to read a credit report, credit building, student loans. Oh my God, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, so building credit for your business. We're going to be talking about so much stuff, and I'm so excited. Y'all know this stuff like really gets me motivated and stuff like that. So for those of you who would like to attend the webinar and you haven't registered, you still got a couple more minutes to do so. If you go to themoneyplug.co/events, you'll see the webinars that are available. This is my summer credit literacy webinar series called The Class About Nothing. That's the name of the series. And you should see 2 classes. I gave one yesterday, one today, and then the one from yesterday, people requested I do it again, so that's going to be next week. And then as we add new classes to the schedule, they'll pop up on that website. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. It definitely means a lot to me. I love you guys so much. Any questions you guys have, my contact information is in my bio. You can always reach out to me. And if you need anything, I'm here for you. There's no such thing as a stupid question when it comes to your credit. I'd rather you ask than assume. So y'all know what I always say. Y'all have a safe weekend, everybody. Live every day like it's your last, but pay your bills and wear condoms just in case it's not. And for those of you who are attending the webinar, I'll see you in a bit. And for everybody else, I will see you on Monday. Bye, everybody. And side note, thank you for telling the truth about Dave Ramsey. People are scared to be honest about that. No, for real. Whew. We're not going to talk about that on my live because it's going to get me canceled. But we'll talk. But bye, everybody.